открытую, ваши аплодисменты. На самом деле, хотел сказать, как же все на природе клево. Звук звучит кристально чисто, никаких отражений, ничего. Свежо. Небо над головой. Что еще нужно? Свежий воздух и самая любимая музыка, в частности на этом танцполе. Это Драм-н-Бейс. Итак, дамы и господа, встречайте первого иностранного артиста Драм-н-Бейс танцпола. Руш! Ваши шума!
This is Ed Rush from Virus. You're watching Base TV, Russia. Good sound. It was a bit, you know what, it actually reminds me of when I first got into raving. It was a bit kind of, the setup was similar. It was done, you didn't buy a ticket and kind of know exactly where you were going. It was announced that day. And the way we heard about it was on the pirate radio stations that used to be played around London and the surrounding counties. So everyone would tune in on a Friday night and be like, all right, where are we going to go? And it's some random field in Oxford, but you've all got to meet at this service station. And then we'll all move together. So you get 5,000 people or 4,500 people turning up to this one service station in Oxford. And the people are like, what the fuck's going on here? Do you know what I mean? Total roadblock.
Wicked.
And this kind of reminded me of that tonight because it's a similar kind of setup.
There's a roadblock out there. I sat in half an hour, man.
But no one knew where the venue was until this morning.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
No, that's yeah, that's hence me mentioning
wicked.
it. You know?
Okay.
Like, it reminds me of like the old kind of,
yeah.
like the spiral tri-parties that we used to have back in the day.
So this...
But with better production.
Better sound.
Go ahead, Chris.
What do I do? What else do I do? I drink in my local pub and watch football.
Football?
Fuck. Yeah, I'm a big Arsenal fan.
Ooh, I'm getting out.
Is it you though?
No, Chelsea fan.
Oh, God.
Exactly.
God. Yeah, I'm a big Arsenal fan, so I do a lot of football. In fact, I watch all the Premier League games, really. Apart from that, I work. And that's about it, really.
Play poker.
Poker.
Yeah, poker. And I'm also, at the last couple of years, I've slowly, more strong and stronger every week, I'm getting into working in the kitchen, like cooking.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my wife cooks maybe 3 nights a week and I do 4 nights a week. But it's something I'm really getting into recently, and I'm really enjoying it. It's quite satisfying to make a nice plate of food and have people that you love and friends saying, "Oh, this is amazing." It's like it's a nice feeling. It's kind of similar to making a tune when you're making a nice plate of food. It's like, you know, you need everything. You need the bass and the mid and the tops. It's like you need the stock and, like, you know what I mean, like the onions and the garlic and all that's like the bass. It's true, man. The herbs that you put on are like the top end, and the seasoning, that's all like, that's your hi-hats. And if you think of it, it's kind of a metaphor for making a tune. If you think of it like that, a well-rounded tune, what elements does it have? And you treat food the same way, you end up with good food.
To those among you who are easily frightened, we suggest you turn away now. To those of you who think they
I
can...
haven't got any of that.
Basically, I made a dubstep tune with Optical
wicked.
ages ago that was alright. It was kind of like the early dubstep. It was kind of dub influenced as it used to be.
Yeah.
One of those kind of tunes that Scream was playing it for a little bit. It was alright. And don't get me wrong, I really like dubstep. I like the dubstep I love. But there's so many people making great dubstep at the moment. I don't really think there's much I can contribute to it that's not already been done. But house music is so vast and so wide, you can always have a little dabble and kind of find your own style in it. I don't actually really draw much inspiration from other electronic music, to be honest. I find inspiration in life, experiences, meeting people, other types of music, like anything from rock to jazz, funk, soul. Like if I listen to some old, like classic sort of funk music, it really puts me in the mood for getting in the studio and making some breakbeat, some like breakbeaty drum and bass. That's the only thing. I think a lot of the drum and bass that's been made at the moment, everyone's using this kind of generic sort of kit sound. I think we're losing a bit of the organic funk breaks. I think a lot of young producers should really start using them again because no, I do.
Yeah, no, I agree. I do
agree. It brings like a more live kind of organic feel to the music rather than it being so like mechanical and robotic.
Have a bit of both in Russia, like Subwave on Metalheads. He does a lot of like musical, uses a lot of old breaks and stuff.
He's going to
then on the other hand,
like Proxy, and he decided to change.
Oh, has he?
Yes.
Well, I've only heard his stuff. Metalheads played.
I didn't know he was Russian. I like his music, though.
He's good.
Good stuff.
Congratulations.
I've got one on the way. July 29th, I'm having another daughter. I've already got a 4-year-old girl and a wife. And got another one on the way. So I'm going to have 3 women in my house. So if anyone wants to send any donations or any kind of support or some helpful advice on how to deal with living with 3 women, it would be much appreciated. God help me. I'm reading I'll tell you what I'm reading at the moment. I'm reading that book that sold like 17 million copies worldwide. The Swedish guy's book Larsen, The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. It's a trilogy. I'm sure everyone's read it. It's quite.
I
It's
don't
good.
read books. Fair
It's
play.
good. He wrote the trilogy and then he died, and then his wife was trying to get the money from the books from his publishing company, and they were saying no, we own the rights to it. And there's this big legal battle that's going on, which kind of got me interested in the book. And then she was like, well, he's got number 4, and he's written number 4 and I've got it, so if you want it, pay me for the rest. So it's quite a good book. But I don't know, I'm quite patriotic. I like English films. I'm not really into like big blockbusters. The last blockbuster I watched was Avatar, and I thought that was pretty good. Like, it was really nice to look at. Nice graphics. It was like every shot you could have paused it and put it on your walls. It was very pleasing on the eye. Aside from that, Harry Brown, great movie, English film. Seen that with Michael Caine?
I haven't recently,
Plan
but
B.
yeah, it's good.
Gary Brown.
What did I watch? Way Winston. I watched.
Yeah, I love
something
him.
called Way
It's
Winston.
not Sexy Beast.
Yes,
is it?
I watched Sexy Beast on the
That's a
plane
great
earlier.
film.
Brilliant film.
Great film.
Got to see that shit.
Yeah.
Man.
Okay, why drum and bass?
Because for me, the first time I heard it, I was still at college, and I was kind of grew up listening to hip hop and electro, and I never heard anything like it. And I went to one of these parties that I mentioned earlier, like the Spiral Tribe thing, and they were playing like sort of acid techno, and then they started playing the early sort of hardcore tunes, and they were using breakbeats and stuff, and I'd never heard anything like it in my life. I'm like, what the fuck is this music? And drum and bass is kind of, you know, the child of early hardcore. It all stemmed from the same roots. So I got into it way back when. And the thing I really liked about it was it wasn't made in America. Most of the music I was listening to then was American music.
Yeah.
Like, you know, hip hop and all that kind of shit. All the best electro was coming out of the States as well. Apart from Kraftwerk. And I was like, it's patriotic, it's English kids making it, and I'm going to get behind it. And also because I wasn't so heavily influenced by any other music at that point, when I started producing it I kind of did what felt natural to me, because I hadn't been listening to it for years and years before, if that makes any sense. So I kind of wasn't influenced by anything else, which is the early No U-Turn days.
Yeah.
It's a good answer.
Your turn.
Me, I was at school actually. I was like the weird kid. Just had listening to hardcore. I was very young. I was like 13, 14 years old, and drum and bass for me kind of evolved from there. I just started listening to it with more breakbeats in it, and then it turned into drum and bass. And I absolutely loved it. After school I was like a bit of a stoner. Just listened to music basically, and just got well stoned. And then I got a flyer from a Trouble and Vinyl music group looking for a street team, and I went out on the streets of London for like 3 months, or 3 to 4 months, flyering for no money. I actually spent like £700, like travelling down from where I lived to London, flying outside clubs. Like it would be like Swerve on a Wednesday, but Rumble on a Thursday, something at the end on Friday, Fabric on a Friday, and something else at the end on a Saturday, and then next week.
Parties.
Yeah, that kept going, and then I got some basically work experience at this record label, TOV Music Group, and that basically just turned over like the period of a year. I started running the labels for him, slowly but surely, until I was basically doing everything there, and yeah, that continued for a couple of years, and then I departed the company.
Doing my own thing.
Yeah, exactly.
And
I
you
got
had
to
all the
know
contacts
people.
and all the-
I brought a lot of artists, like brand new artists. I I asked the director that to start, if I could start like my own project called Barcode Recordings, and I brought through like Evil Intent and Spore and a guy called E1 and Unknown Error as well. They were on a few of the labels, but I was like their main contact. So it came to a point where I was kind of thinking like I wasn't getting on with the director too well. There's a lot of problems at the company, or I felt there was problems at the company. So I decided to depart and kind of start my own thing with one of the artists I brought through Sport, and talked to some other artists, and yeah, we started Lifted Music, and yeah, that's what we've been doing ever since, basically. Going all right, going all right. Yeah, no, we're all right.
You answered the question.
We like to think we've made our mark, you know what I mean? But yeah. This is Renegade at Lifted Music, and you're watching Bass TV.